Batunde Bolatito is my name. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has recalled how the presidential candidates of the PDP, Atiku Abubakar, and the former President Bukola Saraki rebutted former President Goodluck Jonathan's plea to rescind the decision of leaving the party in 2014. Governor Wike, who stated this during a media chat at the Government House in Port Harcourt, said the Sokoto State Governor Aminu Tambuwal was among those who humiliated President Jonathan after the 2014 convention, as they insisted that it was the turn of the North. He said the party's constitution contained provisions for zoning of elected from party positions, but lamented that some people were doing everything within their power to manipulate the system. He said there shall be zoning of party and elected officers. The All Progressive Congress APC Osun State chapter has released names of its chairmanship candidates for forthcoming local government elections in the state. He said the names are contained in a statement signed by the special advisor to the governor of political matters, Oluwama Sunday Akere, on behalf of the party chairman, Prince Boyega Famodu. According to the release, the final list was a product of APC primary election and primary election appeal committee reports. The statement asked the successful candidate to immediately collect their nomination form from APC situation room. Meanwhile, Nigerians have reacted to the final list of candidates contesting the 2023 presidential and national assembly elections. Those who spoke in separate interviews with OSBC News against the backdrop of the names of some prominent politicians missing from the list urged political parties in Nigeria to embrace internal democracy. Our reporter, Oluchi Amuda, has the report.
23 general elections are fast approaching, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, the body statutorily empowered to see to the smooth conduct of the polls, recently released the final list of candidates contesting the presidential and national assembly elections, pursuant to Section 32, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2022. According to the Commission, 18 political parties fueled presidential candidates and their running mates, while for legislative elections, 1,101 candidates are vying for 109 senatorial seats and 3,122 candidates for federal constituencies, also known as House of Representatives. It was, however, observed that the name of the Senate President Ahmad Lawan and his contender Bashir Machino were missing from the list. In another development, the name of the expelled presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, Dumebi Kachuku, appeared on the list. Reacting to this development, Secretary of the All Progressive Congress APC in Osun State, Mr. Kamarudin Alao, expressed satisfaction with the entire process.
The list released by INEC for Osun, that is the list the party submitted, though there are some omission or what I call missing of some names of the candidates. And I know that INEC will go ahead to rectify that so that all political parties who fit candidates, we know that all their candidates are fitted for this election.
Speaking in the same vein, the Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in the state, Mr. Oladele Oluwabamiji, stated that the steps taken so far by INEC is in accordance with the electoral law.
As far as we are concerned in Osun State, we are satisfied. Our candidate's name, as published, are the names of those elected at the primaries conducted by the party in the state.
In his views about the name missing from the published list, a politician, Honorable Akintola Omolaoye, urged political parties to learn how to improve on internal democracy so as to curb the crisis that often accompanies selection of candidates for political positions.
The bulk of the blame should directly be passed to the political parties in the first instance, who was to have submitted appropriately, approved, agreed, and the certified list of contestants from those political parties.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, said the final list of candidates for the State House of Assembly and that of governorship positions will be published on the 4th of next month, as already indicated on the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2023 general elections. Oluchi Amuda, OSBC News.
The federal government has released a timetable for the celebration of the 62nd independence anniversary of Nigeria. The Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, released this during a short press conference in Abuja. He said the press conference kickstarts the programs lined up to commemorate the 62nd independence anniversary. The minister reeled out other activities for the anniversary, saying there will be a church service on Sunday, September 25 at the National Christian Center, Central Business District, Abuja. It will be followed by a public lecture focused on national unity on Thursday, September 29th at the State House Conference Hall in Abuja. While on Friday, September 30, there will be a Jumet service at the National Mosque, Central Business District, Abuja. And on Saturday, October 1, 2022, there will be a presidential broadcast at 7 o'clock in the morning. And later in the day, there will be a military parade at the Eagle Square, Central Business District, Abuja. The minister said that the award of national honors will be held as part of the 62nd independence anniversary on October 1 in Abuja. The chairman of Independent and Anti-Corrupt Practices Commission, ICPC, Professor Bolaji Owasoye, has decried the alarming rate of diversion of public funds in the country. Speaking during the two-day capacity building workshop for members of the House of Representatives Committee on Anti-Corruption, he remarked that the illegal act is carried out through revenue receipt and expenditure in the affairs of governance of the country. The anti-graft chief, who did not mention the stolen monies involved, also condemned illicit financial flow, misappropriation of funds, and budget padding in the country. He stressing that the need to confront corrupt practices headlong. He warned if the citizens did not deal with the ethical issues of corruption, it will further impact negatively on the country, stating that Nigeria was never in short supply of anti-corruption legislation, but in short supply of integrity. He noted that the menace of corruption had been worsened by high-level hypocrisy in the country. According to him, the CBN, the Bureau of Public Procurement, and Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, alongside several regulatory agencies, are all anti-corruption gatekeepers. Owasoye observed that corruption accentuated political patronage and encouraged sabotage of governance, stressing that funds appropriated on paper were never used for the purpose for which they were meant. The president of the Nigeria Labour Congress, Comrade Ayuba Waba, has urged Nigerian and the federal government to immediately begin payment of hazard allowances to health workers in the country. Waba made the call at the 2022 annual Federal Capital Territory Nurses Week scientific workshop of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives in Abuja. The theme of the workshop is Invest in Nursing and Respect Right to Secure Global Health. Waba said the allowance has been reviewed, but payment is yet to begin. According to him, many health workers have fallen victim of diseases in taking care of patients. He also stressed that the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the invaluable role of nurses, adding that the public should pay tribute to those who died in their bid to contain the COVID-19 pandemic by preserving their lives. He commended the Minister of FCT, Malam Mohammed Bello, for prompt payment of health workers' allowances. Waba called for improved wages for nurses, saying a hungry worker cannot provide quality health services. Super Eagles head coach Jose Pesaro has stressed that hopes to win the 2023 African Cup of Nations for Nigeria. The next edition of the AFCON is being to hold in Cote d'Ivoire. The Portuguese tactician June had promised to bring smiles to the faces of Nigeria by winning the long-coveted trophy after country won it last in 2013 under the guidance of late Stephen Keshi. Speaking ahead of Nigeria's international friendly against Algeria, Pesaro said the friendly game will put his team in shape to win the next AFCON tournament. The UK government today unveiled multi-billion-pound measure aimed at supporting households and businesses hit by the highest inflation in decades. Finance Minister Kwasi Kwarteng, fresh from being appointed by new Prime Minister Liz Truss, will deliver a budget package. Boateng also said he would scrap the tax on salaries recently implemented by predecessor Rishi Sunak and will reveal the cost of the new government plan to cap energy bills for households and businesses. The Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria has secured $14.25 billion in crucial new funding after decades of progress against the disease was derailed by COVID-19 pandemic. United States President Joe Biden, who hosted a conference in New York City on the silence of the annual high-level meeting of the United Nations General Assembly, said the funding, the highest among ever, a multi-bilateral health organization, is crucial in combating the diseases. According to President Biden, this is an investment that will save another 20 million lives, reduce mortality from these diseases another 64% in the next 4 years. That ends the midday news on OSBC TV. It was edited by Oladayo Oladepegun. Join us at 3 for all the state news. Good afternoon.
Here is a public service announcement. The following underlisted candidates have qualified to represent our party, the All Progressives Congress APC